back to the Grognards Computer Corner. We are back taking a look at NATO Nukes and Nazis, our continuing gameplay through of that. I just wanted to apologize. It took me a little while to get this video out. Kind of got distracted with a couple other things over the last couple weeks. Spring started showing up. Started doing yard work up at my folks' place. Dad went into the hospital for an angiogram. Whole bunch of stuff that kind of prevented me from continuing the series. But we're back. So want to go ahead and start off, and this looks like this is actually becoming a reoccurring theme in my in my video cast, pointing out what I did wrong in the last video. And again, huge thanks to Dave Lamb for contacting me and pointing out my rules foobars. Last game, or the last turn, when we were doing the NATO airstrikes, or the holding box raids, what I did not realize is that any intercepted aircraft can't conduct a holding box strike. So really, I only had one stack of aircraft that wasn't intercepted, so they were the only ones that could have actually conducted the holding box raid. So I kind of retconned that, brought back some of the casualties that had the aircraft that had been destroyed in the holding box raid, and I had shifted the political index to bring that more in line with each other for the casualties that weren't suffered. And I also forgot to do the attack on the 7th U.S. supply unit, and I was at 6-to-1 odds with that. And of course, I end up rolling a 1, which was mobile defense. And so the attackers lost a step, and the supply unit managed to escape. Love my dice rolls. Love them. Also forgot to fire off the rocket artillery, but whoops, go back there. Not that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. So that's really about the only big things I kind of messed up on. So let's go ahead and continue. We're actually moving into the exploitation movement phase, and we are actually starting to look at exploitation movement phase. First player may move its eligible ground units. First player air units are returned to their old holding box. 6th air cav, it's a special unit, may flip over. Attacker which retreated may not exploit. Decontamination brigades may remove nuclear markers. All right, so we are actually getting to a point where we kind of have a really unique tactical exercise that kind of one of the reasons why I'm continuing to play this, because I want to see what could possibly happen with this. Basically, the Wehrmacht have blown open like a 60 to 70 kilometer hole in the NATO lines, pretty much because, depending on who you talk to, it was either the Belgians who didn't close the hole or the British who didn't close the hole. And I have a feeling both high command from both sides, from both the British and Belgians, are blaming each other. But regardless of whose fault it is, there's a very large hole that has been blown open in NATO lines. So we're going to be moving into exploitation movement. We have to take a look at what we want to do as the Germans now. Now, I have to remember that the NATO forces are going to be getting a bunch of reinforcements this turn. They are going to be getting pretty much all this stuff here. I mean, we're looking at some more French units, some more British, some Canadian, Portuguese, Spanish, Israeli, a lot of stuff. Plus, the U.S. Rapid Deployment Force are going to be showing up because we managed to roll that as an event from last turn. So lots of reinforcements going to be showing up. So the option I have is I can either just totally exploit this hole and go hell-bent for leather, knowing that a lot of reinforcements are going to show up and probably start closing in and trying to plug the gaps. Or I can consolidate and hope for continued more breakthroughs. Now, the biggest problem I'm facing up in Belgium is basically these 2 city hexes are not going to be falling anytime soon. I've got to get more forces up. This is going to be kind of the cornerstone, I think, of NATO defenses. So I have to kind of decide what I want to do, and I need to make sure I plug this gap. I opened it up in exploitation here. So you know what? Plus, we've got to make sure we stay within range of our headquarters units. All right, so let's go ahead and move the Panzer layer there. And they can kind of move on and hopefully move towards Dunkirk. Let's see what. Okay, we really only have one major combat unit in there, the 7th Armored, 7th Panzer. So let's go 1, 2, put them there. Now, you know what, let's go ahead and leave the SS Police unit there. Let's leave the supply unit there. Let's see. Okay, the Grosse Deutschland Panzer, they are reduced, and we want to get them back up to full strength before we commit them, so we're not going to move them. But the Grosse Deutschland Panzer Grenadier Division, fresh from the Eastern Front. Okay, so let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you know what? Crap, I totally forgot. I got to roll for movement because we're still under the Nazi friction. So for Panzerlehr, they rolled a 2, so they can only move half movement, but they were right there and moved to there, no big deal. 7th Panzer 4, they can move normally, so that's fine. So now Grosse Deutschland 6, they can move double. Okay, that'll actually come in handy. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. What's it going to take? It cross a river and enter into a city because it is cumulative. Information, unit type, special rules. You would think. There we go. Train effects chart. Move cost. City is 1. River Hexite is +1. Alrighty. So we've got 1 because he's following along the road, so he doesn't have to pay the river there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but he's got double movement. 7, 8, 9, 10. Do we want to move into Dunkirk? You know what? No. I already took my hand off Panzerlehr. So I can't justify moving the Grosse Deutschland up into Dunkirk and then shifting Panzerlehr to plug that gap. And I don't want to move into Dunkirk if I can't get anything there to plug the gap, because that will open up a hole right here. And, well, I don't think that the French will try to exploit it. Let's not give them any excuse to. So Grosse Deutschland will stop right there. Let's see. 3rd will stay. 10th will stay. 9th will stay. Okay, 2nd and 5th, they'll stay. What do we want to do with these guys? We keep pushing against the U.S. You know what? No, let's go ahead and pull them back. Oops, got to roll for them. 3, so half movement. So 1. Okay. We got the architect unit, that's fine. 1st Panzer. Let's go see and move them. 2, so half movement. So 1, 2, 3. Keep the supply unit here. Everybody can reach it with supply. Plus, I got the supply unit here. We keep the 6th Panzer Grenadier. We need to reinforce them because they're reduced, so we'll keep them there. Now with the 4th Panzer Grenadier. What do we want to do with the 4th Panzer Grenadier, boys and girls? Now, we can either push him up. Well, you know what? That's all right. I think I know what I want to do with them. Let's see what they come from Nazi friction. 2 half movement. Crap. What I was planning on doing if they had normal move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and try to get them into Dunkirk. But they've only got half movement. Actually, moving along across the Autobahn. What does moving along the Autobahn do for us? Autobahn, 1 half movement. But even still, 1 half. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3. That'll just get them to there. So do we want to move the 4th over to support the Grosse Deutschland, or do we want to punch through? Oh, they've only got half movement. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and move the 4th over to support the Grosse Deutschland. We'll keep that supply unit there, that supply unit there. 6th Panzer Grenadiers staying fine. So now really, there's a part of me that wants to push Hellbent for leather, but knowing that that NATO is getting so many reinforcements, I push too far. I leave myself open. So really, the only units I think that I can take advantages is the 8th, the Clausewitz, the 11th, and the 1st. Those are the 4 big units that I need to decide what I'm going to do with that core there. Because the Furtenhalle, they've got to keep pressure up on the U.S. The SS are have not been performing that well, so they are now, I think, begging for support from their Wehrmacht brethren. You know what? This right here. I got to take care of this. All right, so 1st Panzer Grenadier Division. Oops. Let's see. 6, so they get double movement, but we're just going to move them there. The 11th Panzer. Actually, no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now for the 11th Panzer Grenadier, okay, they got 3, so that's half movement. 1, 2, 3, that's fine. Clausewitz Panzer Division, 5, normal movement. 1, 2, 3. Now the 8th Panzer Grenadier, that's their 4, so they got normal movement. 1, 2, 3. Don't want to leave any open holes, but I also don't think not many units can try to exploit. We'll get down here in Reims. Not much. You know what? We're gonna play it a little bit cautious. This isn't the era of Rommel blitzing through northern France on the drive to Calais. We can't take those type of bold thrusts with how quickly modern warfare moves. All right, so look up here. What else have we got? Frontier units. Let's keep the frontier units. We got a paratroop unit. They've got to move over. I need to move them over and support the Luftwaffe. Let's keep the frontier units where they are. Let's go ahead and move that police unit. 4, so normal movement. 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, because we've got some partisan units, so I kind of want to get some police units to keep them from jumping in there and messing with me. It's an architect unit, that's not a police unit. Don't have any free police units. Well, kind of am. But, all right, let's go ahead. Let's keep that supply unit there. Now, the rocket units, the rocket artillery, they've actually got a range of 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they've still got, I don't need to move them. They've still got range with their rocket artillery. That I forgot to use last turn. Border units can't move. Keep that supply unit there. Keep those police units there. Actually, no. What we got here? Oh, yeah. Reduced brown shirts. Keep that there. Keep that there. Yeah, we've got to keep that there. All right, so we've got this Panzer Grenadier division of the Viking that we moved from the East Front. So let's go ahead and move him. We'll get him up to the front line. 1 half movement. Crap. So 1, 2, 3. I was hoping to get him up here to plug a hole. All right, so we've got the NB Panzer Grenadier Division that came from the East Front as well. So let's see what those guys can do. 5, they got normal movement. Let's see, 1 half, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 5, 6. They can kind of close the gap. 1.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 4.5, 5. Okay, that's better. So we'll go half, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 4, 5. And then that'll help put pressure on Strasbourg. Is that Strasbourg? Yeah, that's Strasbourg. Okay. He says that's Panzer Division's just not done anything from the line of demarcation. I don't want to push into here because I've got nothing to fill the gap. I mean, I could, anything I put in there are just going to get violated very bad from the Spaniards, the U.S., and the. Oh, there's even a British SAS unit there. Yeah, we're not gonna. I don't think we're gonna push anything into there. Let's see what else. What else we got? What else we got in the backfield? That looks like about it. Okay, so let's keep working down the line. These guys have got to. Well, we've got someone across the river now, but let's get those guys across the river as well. Let's see. 2 half movements, so they can get across to there. I don't think the French are going to be pushing across the river. We got to reduce police unit there. Can't move those guys. We've got a brown shirt supply unit. All right, we'll take this brown shirt stormtrooper unit. It's 3, so they got normal move. So just move them into there. And we'll take this stormtrooper unit, see what their friction moves 6, so they can move double. So we'll go 1 half, 1, 2. Infantry only spend 1 point moving through mixed. Oops, no, we can't do that. I'll be moving into Switzerland. We are not violating Switzerland's neutrality. Not going to happen. So let's go ahead and move it. Wow, that could have been bad. All right, that commando unit will stay there. Let's see, we've got Fallschirmjägers down there with some partisans. Partisans will stay there. We've got some commandos there. They'll go ahead and stay there. Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and move these guys out. Move them to no. Let's stay in Le Havre. I want to get some partisans there and do an uprising there. Okay, these guys attacked last turn, and they are going to pull back across the river. 1, 2. It's a helicopter unit, so they just pay 1 point basically. So we'll go ahead and move them there just to strengthen the line on the Thames River. And unless I got someone in the backfield that I forgot about, which I don't think I did. Oh, you know what? Let's get this partisan unit moved over. Since Italy's neutral, we don't want to mess too much with them. Although they can come in as a random event, so maybe I ought to keep them down there. You know what? I think that's going to be it for exploitation. Yeah, I would have liked to have taken more advantage of that hole, but the British and the Belgians just have still got a really strong presence right here, and I'm gonna have to eliminate. I'm gonna have to eliminate that. There's just no getting around it. Let's see, I didn't capture anything, no political points shifted or anything like that. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for the German turn. Look at politics, or yeah, even not politics, charts. Information. Yeah, second player turn. Repeat steps A through G above switching second for first, and vice versa when appropriate. So A through G, which is, well, we go into the mobilization phase. So yeah. Do I want to continue doing this? Because I have a feeling that the U.S. mobilization is going to take some time, and I think I need to check on the rules on a couple things. So I think we're going to go ahead and cut it here. Probably not a very exciting episode, very long episode this time. I get that, but I do want to kind of read over where exactly a lot of the NATO reinforcements, the RDF. I know that they can come on either from the south side or use military airlift command to bring themselves in and land at airfields. So I just want to make sure I get the rules down for that. I'm going to have to take a look exactly what my collected forces are and figure out how I'm going to get them on the board. Um, and that will be a lot of internalization. And I don't think a lot of people want to see me just sitting for 20 minutes trying to figure out where I'm going to bring the NATO reinforcements in. But we've got a very interesting tactical situation right here. Very fluid, mobile battlefield in the north and kind of the center, and almost static in the south. So it's going to be very interesting to see what I come up with for NATO. And let's go ahead and do a little bit of bookkeeping with the aircraft. Oops, that's the holding box. So, what does it say in the rules? Attackers, first player air units are returned to their holding box. Oh, yeah, those were the destroyed units I actually took from the from the dead box and just said sent it back. So these guys actually all get put out. Helicopter unit. A lot of helicopter units. Wow, NATO's got a lot of helicopter units. All right, take a look at the Nazi air holding box. Yep, these all get shifted back over. And yeah, that's it for the bookkeeping, and I think that'll do it for now. Hopefully, it won't take me as long to get another video out. I'm probably going to sit down and look at figuring out reinforcements right as soon as I end this, and I will talk to everybody later. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints? Dave, if I messed anything up, please tell me. I figure I play enough of this game, and if Dave tells me, oh, you did that wrong, I'll eventually get this game down pat. I figure at this point, he probably knows the system better than Joe and Ty at this point. So, I'll talk to everybody later. I'll see you next time. Questions, comments, complaints, you know how to get a hold of me. See ya!